What is going on, my friends? We got one last video to do with the Senate before he heads back home to Utah. And look at this, we got 2 microphones. So no more sound complaints about us trying to use one microphone. I actually bought this new Bluebird microphone, which I'm pretty excited about. And this is my old AT2020 that the Senate's gonna be rocking in this video. So, but today we're gonna be talking about the top 5 characters for both of us that we just wish that we had. I know everybody has a Galaxy of Heroes wish list, right? And today we're gonna talk about ours.
Yeah, there's always those farms that you just mean to do and you just never get around to.
All right, starting with my number 1, and this is in order for me. You said it's not quite in order for you.
Not particularly, but they're all pretty high up there. So, you know, any order really for me.
All
honestly.
of them.
But they're all pretty much number 1 at this point.
I want all of them right now.
Yeah.
So for me, number 1 is Dengar. And I do have Dengar somewhat farmed. He's at gear 9. But man, so I'm able to get some use out of it. Man, I really, really wish I had him at gear 12. Primarily for Grand Arena defense and for Territory Wars defense. Now, I've got a secondary team that I think is working pretty well in my Scoundrels. I've still got some holes there for my Scoundrel team. And so that's kind of subbing in for my Bounty Hunters, filling that void. But dang it, I mean, when you've got the what I call the Bounty Hunter Triumvirate of Boba, Dengar, and Bosk with the double Zeta lead, it is...
That's filthy.
Yeah.
That's just the best way to say it. It's just filthy. All right, my number 1 is going to be a pretty conservative pick, which is Revan. So I did not shell out any money for Revan.
Are you sure you want Revan? Really?
He's
okay. I mean,
you could say that he's meta. In some aspects
some
of the
would
game.
call him meta.
Yeah, he's without Revan, you're not going to make the top 10 of your Sith raid. At least in my guild, if you don't have that
That's
Revan
true in my guild.
10 mil,
Yeah,
10 mil post for phase 2 or
Yeah.
6, you're just not going to get top 10 rewards, which are the best rewards obviously. And then on top of that, then you've got Arena, you've got Territory Wars, you've got, really across the game mode, he's the best. And I did not get him the first time around. I'm already, I think, I have them all. I have Bastil Shan, gear 12. And then the rest are like gear 8 or 9.
Are they 7-star?
They're all 7 stars.
He'll be
now,
good.
so.
That event's really easy.
So I'm excited to get him. He's pretty much, I guess you could put him number 1 on the wish list because he's just about to be, at least unlocked at 7 stars. So I'm pumped about that whenever that comes back in the next couple weeks, hopefully.
My number 2 on the list is Range Trooper. Now, I love a good Troopers team, and my Troopers team's in pretty good shape for the most part. I'm just missing Range Trooper. Now that's a pretty big disclaimer because Range Trooper really brings together a Troopers team, especially if you want a reliable Troopers team for your guild's Territory Wars offense, or especially for a Grand Arena. Having Range Trooper in there is going to give you a lot more confident wins against some of those teams that Troopers are going to traditionally counter, like Night Sisters or Bounty Hunters. I am making it kind of work right now without Range Trooper, but I am kind of also gaining a reputation for being that guy that screws the pooch with his Trooper team in my guild too. So
yeah, see, Range Trooper is number 2 on my list as well, particularly because he really makes that special mission in phase 6 of Darkside Territory battles. He makes that really easy. From what I've heard, everybody that has Range Trooper in our guild says they can essentially auto it now. A couple of them have said. I'm not going to auto that mission just yet, but when I get Range Trooper maxed up, then I've only beat it a couple times swapping arena mods, and it's a really hard mission. But Range Trooper is supposed to make it a lot more streamlined, and so I think that's going to be nice for the guild as a whole. Once everybody can kind of get him, that's a bunch of extra guild event currency, but also, just like you said, for Territory Wars, for PvP, he's just as good. So
my number 3 is Vandor Chewbacca. Now, this is the highest on my roster. This is the character that has the highest gear. But the reason because he's at gear 11, and I've got a Zeta on him. I'm using him, and I think he's working. But I really wish I had him at gear 12, just to give him that extra tankiness. And the reason why he's not at gear 12 is because I still do not have him at 7 stars, and he is just constantly getting knocked down on the priority list. Right now, a big reason for that is, he's a hard node farm, and I want to farm his shards, but I need to farm Houndstooth. I need to farm Xandu Blood. I need to farm IG-88 ship. I need to farm all of these ships at the same time right now because I'm almost 99% sure that I'm going to need them for the Falcon. I don't know if by the time this video goes out, maybe that puzzle's solved. I don't know. But
I hope so. They're on it right now.
it's been taking a while, but anyway, I'm pretty confident I'm going to need those guys, and so with all of that energy going there, afterwards, what's left over for gear, and do I really have enough energy to farm some shards for Vandor? So I've kind of slowed down that farm. I really wish I had him at 7 stars so I could bump him up to gear 12, give him some added tankiness.
Yeah, he frankly should be on my list of 5, but he's been pushed back so far to the point that he's not even on my list of top 5 because there's just so many that you need that I don't have. And so he's definitely up there. If you don't know about him, his synergy with the Scoundrel team, with Zalbar and everything, it's just about the most annoying thing. Like, if you don't know about it and you face it, you'll want to rage quit pretty much.
The only team on my live stream with Wink from the Shattered Order podcast, the only team that held on defense was my Scoundrel team.
Yeah, he just his Zeta with the revive is just, it's filthy. So
you like that word?
He's filthy. it's my new word.
That boy is filthy.
All right. Number 3 on my list is not 1 toon, but 3, which are the bugs.
You cheated.
I figure you can't really just say Sunfac because I don't have.
It applies Geo Soldier and
I have them all.
Spy.
I have them all at 7 stars. I have Geonos and Soldier at gear 11, but Sunfac is sitting at gear 7. He's not going to get those 2 Carbantes for a while because everybody's just thirsty for Carbantes in this game.
But your Sunfac's only gear 7?
He's gear 7. Yeah.
Ouch. That's an ouch.
So,
I've got a gear 12 Sunfac.
Yes, he's Sunfac and then Geonosian Spy as well. Yeah. I mean, I have their Omegas on their ships and everything, but without the gear there, they're really not usable. And so if I had all 3 of them, all gear 12, that would just be, it would make Territory Wars so much better with I could put a better defense and use them for offense more reliably, because right now it's kind of like a B team with, whoever's left over from my arena team that I want to swap out.
Right. And
so I would get another fleet essentially by having them, which I don't have at this point. So
my number 4 is Night Sister Spirit. I've got a Night Sister Spirit at gear 9, which is pretty decent, but this is a character that I have wanted to farm for a long time, but again, priorities just prevent me from being able to do so. But what she is able to do offensively, she hits hard, really hard, and I really appreciate having 2 Night Sister trios for Grand Arena, assuming we do 3v3 again. And even at gear 9, she bailed me out of a sticky spot against the General Kenobi Barris team that I wasn't able to beat for several tries against one of my opponents. But Night Sister Spirit was able to get enough DPS to burn through that health regeneration that Barris provides with her Zeta ability. And so I just would really like to have a maxed out Night Sister Spirit for that reason. But priorities, it's probably going to be a while until I get to her.
Yeah, she's one that I haven't really looked at too much because I just knew that I was never going to be able to get to her.
Man, she's underrated.
But she is good, especially when you throw in 3v3, it really makes kind of added importance to those tunes that you might not have geared otherwise, because you want to have two squads, especially with Night Sisters, where there's you can have Talzin lead and you can have a Saj lead, obviously. Yeah. Unless you're going to go with the bold move.
Night Sister Spirit is the 6th best Night Sister in my opinion. I think that the top 5 are pretty solid. Maybe if you're looking at them just one-on-one, I think Spirit could probably be a top 5, but just the synergy that you get with the Acolyte and Zombie in there, I think is pretty good. You can make a case for Talia too, but I think Spirit is one of those. If we just had 6 characters in our rosters, or on teams that we're using, I think that Spirit would be in everybody's Night Sister team. She's the first out.
She's good. She's the tune that you use after not knowing about her, and you decide to stick with her. You're like, why didn't I go with her a long time ago? So she's filthy.
Of course.
All right, 4 on my list is going to be Nest. Nest is a tune that I have slowly been farming for a long time. I have her with the Zeta. She's very easy to get to gear 11, if I remember right. Gear 12 is a different story. She needs 3 stun guns and 3 gold eyeballs, so forget about that. But luckily you have plenty of time because she takes forever to farm, right? But she's been on the back burner when I had to farm Revan, obviously, and so I was farming Jolie and I was farming Zalbar from the fleet nodes, and now I'm finally kind of back to Nest. But she's really good, and especially with her after they changed her health.
Yeah.
You really need to have her base max health to be really high, otherwise she just gets really on defense. It's essentially useless, and so mine's at 5 stars right now, and she just doesn't have enough health to really be meaningful on defense unless it's like a B team going against her. And so I'd really like to use her at the next level, and you kind of have to have gear 12 for
Even
that.
then, I feel like when I see a defense that has Nest in it, I'm still nervous unless I'm using my Revan. I mean, obviously Revan is pretty well able to handle Nest.
Yeah, he
now
destroys
after
her.
that nerf. But anybody else that you're using against Nest, and to me, when I see those gear 12 rings on Nest, it's a totally different
a lot more
consideration.
intimidating.
Way more
a lot
intimidating.
more intimidating. Yeah.
All right, my last character that I wish I had maxed out is B2 Super Battle Droid. This is a character that I've been procrastinating since 2015.
Yeah.
I have always wanted to have this guy. I mean, that mass clear and the buff immunity has so many different uses in this game, and there's more and more game modes where you've got reason to use a character like that because you're dipping deep enough into your roster in Grand Arena, in Territory Wars. I know a lot of people were using, I'm trying to remember, B2 Super Battle Droid with a Bounty Hunter team.
Yeah.
And it was working very effectively.
It's really good.
And so I again, this is pretty much the same in the same league as Spirit as I really want this character, but I just don't know when I'm going to get to him.
See, the other good thing about B2 is that he's one of those few tunes in the game that doesn't need speed at all. You don't have to mod him for speed because he gets 100% speed when an ally is critically hit, I think, right? And so you can really load up on offense or on protection or whatever you want. Potency. Yeah, you want potency for him, I guess. And so that's a nice change. It's a nice change, when you get somebody like him or Resistance Trooper where speed isn't important because you spend so much time farming speed mods, and you're like, I gotta dump him on another character. You need another 6 mods, but he doesn't need them. You can just dump in your garbage mods on him essentially, and it goes a long way.
Ode to speed mods. That'll be my next music video. All right, round us out.
All right, my last tune that I need to farm is Basar Fallin.
Emo Bastila. Let's refer to her properly, okay? Also, she's really hot.
Yeah. Was that out loud?
Sorry. Is this thing on?
It's like the Avril Lavigne look she's got to her. It just really takes you back to the early 2000s,
Oh man, that's so true though.
All right, so Basar Fallin is really good for Traya teams as a 5th, and
she's dope.
Now her usefulness in my roster is going to go down when I get Revan, I think, because right now I'm still running Traya in Arena because I don't have Revan. And so when I get Revan, I'll probably swap, and I won't really need her as much. But she's really good for Traya teams in Arena, as well as for Territory Wars, for other modes. Especially because right now I'm running, I have the Triumvirate, and I have Palpatine and Thrawn. And if I can swap out Palpatine, then I can use Palpatine as an offense team. And so it's an extra tune that'll kind of give me another offensive team, essentially, or defense. Yeah. So that's kind of her purpose for me.
If you don't have Revan, I think that Basar Fallin is a must. And let me give you my logic here, because I actually feel like the reverse is true if you do have Revan. If you do have Revan, you're using your own Revan to beat Revans. And when you are going against opponents in Grand Arena and in Territory Wars, most people are saving Revan for offense. I haven't had to beat a Revan team without my own Revan team because, most people are saving them for offense. And then even if they do place it, I've got my own Revan on offense just in case they decide to place it. And so when Revan's there, that's just what I'm going to use to beat Revan. But if you don't have Revan, you need to have something that's going to beat it. And so if you don't have that currently, Basar Fallin could be a pretty important key to that. She really helps keep that Sith team nice and survivable, especially on that initial onslaught of attacks towards Darth Traya. And so, I think that's, for me, I would shuffle Basar Fallin almost towards the top of your list because you don't have Revan.
Yeah, And she's also one of those tunes that gets a ton from her Omegas.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but also a
And
bummer.
you don't
because
need a Zeta
Omegas-
on her. Her Zeta's worthless.
Yeah, her Zeta doesn't really. It's not necessary. To
Rip
make
anyone
her,
who
to make
gave
her
that
use
Zeta,
at
in
all.
my opinion.
Yeah, but at any rate, she's one of those that get like her and Jango Fett. If you look at what their Omega abilities give, it's like a huge boost.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, that's really just Omega. And so,
Yeah.
she's one that you can make her go a long way, even at low stars. I mean, everybody still runs her at 3 or 4 stars.
Yeah.
But having her maxed
yeah,
would be
she
so
works.
much better.
Everybody in the comments, tell me, what are your top 5 characters that you wish you had maxed out? These are just ours. Hopefully we can get to them at some point. I know I'm definitely going to get to Dengar and Range Trooper, but Spirit and Battle Droid, I don't know. Hopefully the stars align for me to get to them at some point.
It'll take a while, especially because B2 he's a really
he's
hard
heavy on
gear.
the gear.
He's a really hard gear.
Yeah.
Him and Dengar as well too. So you've got your work cut out for you.
I hate Dengar. Oh my god.
Yeah, you got your work cut out for you, and you got your crystals cut out for you.
Man, I'm hoarding crystals right now. Potentially
gearing,
for
it's-
Darth Revan.
It's just filthy.
Filthy. The theme of this video. Filthy.
The filthy gears.
The filthiness of this game. All right, everyone, thanks for joining us for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed videos with the Senate over this break. He's going to be moving down here, hopefully, here in about 4 months, and we'll be able to do more videos once that happens. But we're still going to try to do some Grand Arena streams in the meantime. Thanks again for joining me for the video, my friends, and as always, my brothers, don't forget.
My dead body. Sorry about the mess.